Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Feel free to ask. You had a little breather from the other very important thing that's happening around here this week. So whatever you have to ask.
Well, how are you feeling just about the way the team's coming together?
You know, we like any beginning of the year, we battled through some injury and some illness, and just trying to get a few guys healthy. But today, we had basically the full complement of guys. So that was great to see. And usually at this time, I think we'd be further ahead because we've had to juggle some things with our schedule due to some minor injury stuff that's popped up. But otherwise, though, we've really the last 2 days have made some good strides here in the early season.
This is probably the most experienced team you had since you came to ASU. Does it feel like that on the court every day in practice?
I think there's a really good nucleus or core of players that have been with me now for a couple of years. So that's always a great thing to have, knowing that they have a good feel for our practices and our offense and just our whole style of play and everything. So, but we've been together now basically since the middle of June. So this is not like we just started here over the weekend. So it's been exciting to see some of the new guys, like it always is. I think that's a part of the beauty of college basketball for me, is just to get a chance to see what this team is going to look like. And as you lose key players, you have to hope that your returning players are making jumps, and that the new guys and how do they fit into everything. So we're going through that process, being mindful that in a month we're going to get on a plane to China. So every day that goes by, you just want to try and get a lot done. And this is probably the shortest preseason that I've had. And we've done a great job of getting off to a fast start the last 2 years. So I'm hopeful that we're really getting better every day, and because we're kind of losing a week just with the trip, and it's going to be a great experience for our team to go to China and have that experience. But it's at the same time, and from a coaching standpoint, it's you're a little bit shorthanded with time to get the team ready. Does
it make it a little more intriguing that not only going to China, but you're playing a Pac-12 opponent that you're going to play 2 times later in the year?
It's different. I think that it's a unique thing. You don't really see it too often, and certainly we want to try and play in games versus teams that we would project to be in the top 50, which I would think with the team that Colorado has coming back, they fall into that category. So it's a really good neutral site game. They're very experienced, so it's kind of early for me to want to think about them. It's more I think concentrating now on developing the right habits and seeing how we're going to have to play, and just kind of figuring ourselves out right now.
Do you have any sense of what this team's identity, or what you'll hang your hat on? Because the last 2 years, the teams were different in a lot of respects.
I just think we have we're interchangeable. We have a lot of different ways that we could go, and that's the one thing that I'm noticing that I like. I feel like at times with the addition of Jalen House and Lonzo Verge, that we could be a lot like the team 2 years ago if I go that direction. And then you have guys like Kamani Lawrence and Khalid that give you size on the perimeter, and Rob Edwards. So there's a lot of different combinations. And then Romello White has been the best that he's looked since he's been here, and he was just an animal out there, just in our practice today, especially in the late stages. So I just think if he continues to practice and play the way he's playing, he's sitting on a really good year.
You talk about mixing and matching lineups, but I mean the junior college guys you brought in, how do you feel that they've adapted so far to you and to everyone else?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be an adjustment. Andre Allen, I think, whispered to me on Saturday like I've never been in a practice like this before. So you'll get things like that are going to happen just because it's a different level. There's an adjustment, for the high school guys as well. But yeah, I mean they've made an impact for sure. Like Lonzo Verge has had some days this summer that I've rarely seen, just from a guard standpoint, and I've had a lot of good guards in the program here in Buffalo. So I'm really excited to see him and see how he fits into everything we're doing.
What stands out about his game?
Just you can't teach some of the things that he has. His instincts, his feel for the game, and just his ability to create something, whether it's a shot for himself or a teammate. And he's a city guard, and he's got that edge to him, real confident, tough edge to him, and so he's been very impressive. And Jalen House is another one that, you know, he's been working hard in the weight room. Not the strongest guy in the world, needs to keep, you know, getting stronger, putting weight on. But he may not have to. His teams may not be able to really get physical with him. He's that fast, that quick with the ball, and just been a menace in practice, both ends of the floor. So I like, you know, what those two guys are doing.
When you lose to guys like Zylan and Lou, would you say like rebounding might be like the biggest challenge you have ahead of you, just to replace that rebounding aspect?
Yeah, I started going back a little bit to box scores a few years ago, 2 years ago, when I noticed maybe it was Xavier or Kansas, can't remember, like Trey Holder had 8 defensive rebounds, Shannon Evans had 6, Cody had 3, Remy had 2, and I'm saying, all right, well, that's like 19 defensive rebounds there, so that's pretty. So I'm starting to know that I'm going to have to convince the guards to want to rebound, and yeah, I think Melo has potential to boost his numbers in that regard, just because he's down about 10 pounds and he's in elite shape for any time he's been here, and he's getting more of those rebounds. And another guy that we've talked about is Kamani Lawrence, just, you know, using all his length and his tools to rebound as well.
Does Alonzo need the ball in his hands to be effective, or can he play off the ball?
Well, we had him today just like he was running the team, which he could do, but he's been off the ball a lot more as Remy and Jalen. They played together, and so there are a lot of different combinations. So he was kind of getting a feel for running his own team. So he's been, you know, very comfortable, you know, off it. He's the type of guy that you know, if he gets the outlet, you know, he could make some great things happen for himself or teammates. So great in transition, but then, you know, off the ball, he could, you know, if I could get him in a ball screen, he's gonna make something good happen.
You brought in 2 assistants. Just what's that transition been like, just as a coaching staff?
Yeah, it's you know, I think because of the experience of just myself and Coach Burno, and then having some core guys back, that, you know, you integrate some new faces, and there's not a ton of change, and we have so much influence, myself and Coach Burno, about what goes on in our workouts and our practices, that, you know, I think the transition for those guys is just getting acclimated to, you know, learning the players and getting a feel for that and their role. And, you know, Rasheen hasn't been here very long, so he's been out on the road taking, you know, a bigger role recruiting. So Rasheen Davis, I think, is going to be really, you know, good for us and the program, and Eric Brown as well.
What can you just tell us what drew you to Rasheen, and what made you bring him on?
Yeah, I think Rasheen was more of a decision with Coach Burno and I, just because of our ties to the East and comfort level with knowing that he had been at some really good places and coached at some really good programs, and Coach Burno had known him pretty well, and I was pretty familiar with him, and just wanted someone else that, you know, in the loop that we kind of knew.
Did you have conversations with Romello at the end of last season about just getting in better shape and what that would unlock with his game, and just can you maybe expand on some of that more?
Yeah, I mean, again, it could be just seeing what Zylan did and maybe paying attention to him and how he worked and trained and the position he put himself in. And, you know, I think Romello knows, he's been here a couple of years. I think he knows how much we need him down there, and that, you know, how he could take a bigger responsibility on our team, and he's kind of proven to us that he's going to, you know, be a focal point of what we do.
And then Remy's one of the best returning guards in the league now, so what does that do as far as the leadership standpoint, or how he takes the team to the next level, or, you know, helps?
Yeah, I mean, he's poised to make another jump, and it's you know, there may not be a team that I've had that I'm more confident about, you know, putting points on the board. If you kind of go right down the line with leading, you know, with Remy and Rob Edwards and Romello White and Tayshaun Cherry, Kamani Lawrence, Lonzo Verge, and then you haven't even moved on to some other guys that could really score it as well. So I think, you know, we'll do that well, and Remy has worked extremely hard. Just setting a good example, you know, especially for, you know, for Alonzo and Jalen coming into the program, and there's been outstanding competition at that position, those two positions. Really, when you add Rob Edwards into it, that those guys are competing against high-level guys every day. So I think they're all going to benefit from it.
Do you feel like the program's kind of on the trajectory you envisioned 4 years ago?
I mean, I always felt that way. I feel like we positioned ourselves well. No one in the Pac-12 is going to care that we were the only Pac-12 school to go to the tournament the last 2 years, and it's a clean slate as far as I'm concerned. So, but I do take a lot of pride in that. It's been a big climb. So, we have a bunch of guys in the locker room that know how to do that, and that expect to do that, and that's kind of the standard now. So it's but we still have a lot of growth and a long way to go, and just cleaning up a lot of things that are important to playing basketball at a high level, and just excited about the conference overall. I just think that top to bottom, there have been some changes, some coaching changes, and just been a lot of change. And then I just think teams have improved, they've gotten better, they seem like they're recruiting at a high level, so it should be a really competitive conference this year.
How's Rob's back doing, and what are you looking for him to contribute this year?
Yeah, I mean, Rob looks more like the guy that I saw 2 years ago, like when he was sitting out prior to his back bothering him. He's very fresh. He's moving great. He's showing the burst that I saw. He's not experiencing a lot of the things he had to work through last year, and just a little bit more explosive. I wouldn't say like a ton more, but enough to make a difference when the margins are pretty narrow out there, and every little bit helps.
Could we see Jalen House kind of filling that Remy role when Cody, Trey, and Shannon were all here?
Yeah, I mean, everything's sorting itself out now, and how everyone role identification, but I just think his energy and how hard he plays at both ends of the floor has been contagious in our workouts, been noted by our coaching staff. We've used him as an example a lot about how to exert energy and how to get after it. He ran our mile in 5:15, our time mile, and didn't really take a deep breath doing it. So, so he's just one of those guys that just could run. And it's funny because like he and Verge in their own way remind me of Shannon Evans, just how they attack, their mindset, how conditioned Shannon was, how he could just play all day and not really get fatigued. And so it's been exciting to have two guys that I want to compare to a guy that I think the world of.
How fast can you run a mile?
Kid who?
How fast can you run a mile?
Right now?
Right.
I'm on the shelf. I'm working through some stuff on the injury front right now. So I've been on the bike a little bit, but that's about it for me. I'm hoping that all the injuries come my way and my players are spared of that. And that'd be good for me.
So no hiking either?
No, I haven't. I've just the wear and tear of all the years, and just playing and coming back to get me. So I told our guys in the summer when you get to my age and you start experiencing these things, it's the arthritis kicking in, different in my knee, and just the problems. It's hopefully you could take something out of the game too. Let's really train at a high level this summer individually, so that you guys set yourself up to have a chance to be pros someday, so that you're not 48 and a bad knee and nothing to show for it.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have done those sprints before the Arizona game last year.
Doug, I don't think that was the trigger of it. But yeah, I don't think that you're going to see anything or hear any stories in the future, or the short term anyway.
So you mentioned Kamani. Obviously, his role last year was a little lessened because of Xylan's presence. And now that he's in his third year, how have you seen him grow?
He attacked the off season, and just very impressive how he took care of his body, and just he's moving more fluidly. And I just think there are certain areas that we need help in that I think he could provide that help if he really locks into that. And we've discussed that, and just using all his tools, his size, his movement, his length, to be one of our better perimeter defenders. And there's a lot of those assignments went to Lou and Xylan, and kind of got to replace from a defensive standpoint and a rebounding standpoint. I think Kamani would be someone that could do some of those things.
Are you amazed by his perseverance? I mean, just being really even keel as much as you can expect somebody like him to be?
Yeah, I mean he's very quiet and not unassuming, not a ton, a big communicator, but he's playing confidently. So I know that he feels good about where he's at right now.
And leadership-wise, I mean, I know you touched on Remy and Mello, but like Kamani and Rob, I mean, do you feel that, I mean, they're more vocal, that, not that you aren't coaching, but you can say less and they're kind of taking over more on the court with the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of what we're doing in practice. We want them, they have to be able to sort it out on the floor and communicate and in some very tough situations coming up here real soon. So as much as we want to stop and teach and coach and, we'll meet and watch film and talk, and, they have to be able to communicate. And we do have that capability of, losing a guy like Zylan was critical to that. I thought he did a great job of that, but even the new guys, Verge is a natural communicator on the floor, and so is Jalen House. Jalen, you got to say, like, let's scale this back a little bit. He's so energetic, and just ask great questions too. Like, even as the tempo and the pace that we have, we like to move quick in our workouts, our practices, and Jalen is always asking me things, and I'm saying, like, I don't think I've said, like, that's a bad question one time, and I've probably thought that a lot in some of the other questions I've been asked over the years. Sometimes guys try and stall me too, to try and catch their break, catch their breath, get a breather by asking a question so we can stop. But I don't think Jalen's doing that.
So is everybody practicing right now?
Everyone except Mickey is he had a back procedure done, and he's doing more and more, and so we're. Again, this is as optimistic as I've been just about how he's feeling and how he's looking and what he said to me. And so, I mean, he's not in the short term going to be in our practices, but he is making good progress. Jalen Graham rolled his ankle 2 weeks ago, so he's probably got another 2 weeks. And so we miss him because he's had a really good summer, and he needs, as an incoming freshman, really needs the reps. But he's working hard, and we hope to have him back in about 2 weeks. And Caleb Christopher is working through a wrist injury, but again, it's nothing serious. So we're down a couple of bodies, but everyone else was out on the floor today.
How does the trip to China change everything from a preparation standpoint? You said you lost a week, literally. How much does that impact what you're doing?
Yeah, it just makes you look at your phone, see what day, what's the date, okay, got to do more, got to get more in, got to address all the different things that you do as a coach to prepare your team, and especially because I think we did it as probably as good a level as you could do it for the last 2 years, just getting the guys ready to get off to a fast start. So just sticking to the script and trying to know that we got to have a little more in than before we get on the plane and fly to China. But then it just changes some other stuff with not scheduling a game for several days after, so we could adjust to being to the trip and the time changes and all the stuff that's going on.
Is this where having a veteran team you think helps maybe negate all the challenges that the China trip presents, just because a lot of players on the team been there, done that?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, and the guys that have won too and have experienced that, and those 5 guys I talked about have won a lot of games in the non-conference, so I think they understand what it takes, and just got to get everyone pulling in the right direction. Hey, one thing I just wanted to announce just for everyone at the end here is that, again, I'm really excited for the football program and the start they're off to, and it's just been so exciting to watch from our standpoint. And then, so we're going to try and use some of that great momentum that I'm sure we're going to see next weekend, and we're going to have an open practice on Saturday, the day of the Washington State game, and so we're going to practice for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then we're going to open the doors here at Weather Up and allow some of our fans and some others to come in and check us out. So that'll be, I believe we have it scheduled for 11, but there'll be more details on that via social media and some of our marketing stuff moving forward. So, all right.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.